Good morning, gorgeous creatures all over the world. It's Friday, the 24th of April, 2020. Greetings, here we are. We've made it to the end of another week. You excited little people. Good morning to you. How are you? Another nice day out there. The sun's shining out there. I've got to go up on my bike a little bit later on. Not till this afternoon, actually, to my mate's house. He managed to get me a little bit of shopping yesterday. What have we got? I've got apple pies. Two family-size apple pies, which I will be munching my way through over the next few days. Very excited about those. Apple pies, we like those. Carrots, potatoes, not much, just about 15 quid's worth of shopping I've got to pick up a little bit later. Nice phone in last night. Thanks very much for those of you that joined us last night. Some nice calls in there last night. Very interesting calls as well. So thanks for that very much. I must say hello to Simon Keane, who writes messages and comments of the show every show, but I keep missing them, and I miss them because he puts them underneath the show, and I must remember to do. There's two things I've forgotten to do today, actually. Reading these messages, which I never do, because I just simply forget that they're there, and they're good. He always likes to tell jokes and things like that. The other thing I've forgotten to do was put on some new photos that arrived onto the system, so sorry about that. It was from Jason Hughes, and it was someone else. Can't remember now. Can't remember what the other one was now. There were a couple of people sent in some photographs, so I'll get them on there for you tomorrow. I just forgot about that. I should have done them last night, really. But Simon Keane writes in from last night's show. He said, I've done my daily exercise. My friend high up in boxing, as in, I'm not a fan of boxing, really. I don't do that one. I mean, no, it's all those muscles, dear. No, it doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. We like defined. We don't like muscles. Not keen on, those great big bulging muscles and a tiny little head on their shoulders. I gather you could have other tiny things as well. Well, we're not interested in those, are we, girls? Huh? I don't think so. Anyway, Simon says, I've done my daily exercise. My friend, high up in boxing, told me last week to watch his very best friend's son, Eddie Hearns. Does that mean anything to possibly to the sports fans watching the show? Eddie Hearns worked on Sky. Barry Hearn is his dad. He owns boxing and snooker and darts. And Eddie Hearns was brilliant with dumbbells. Not the towel we cast, actual real dumbbells. I like that. I've never felt so fit in all my life. Try that one, Mr. Chop Chop. What with dumbbells? Is those things you lift, isn't it? I saw those for sale some months ago now in Aldi. Because in Aldi, it's the weirdest shop, really. We've got used to it now. But the first few times I went in, I thought it's really odd in here. Because you'd go around, you'd go past the fruit and the veg and the butter and the tins of baked beans. And there, in the middle, would be all these strange things that you thought, why are these here? You know, like trainers or tea towels, toasters. And they were just like stuck in the middle. And a few months ago, dumbbells appeared in there. I saw them both in the Bracknell Aldi and also in Skegness. I was with my sister and brother-in-law doing one of our nighttime shoppings in Skegness because we used to go. We stopped doing it, actually. I got fed up going to the same place, but we used to go to Skegness every sort of Tuesday or Wednesday night when I was up at the caravan. And on the way back, we'd do our shopping. It just made sense. And we'd go past Aldi in Skegness. And there was never any more than like 2 or 3 people in there. And there were these dumbbells there. And I said, look, they got dumbbells here. Anyway, well, I couldn't even lift up the box. I felt really sorry for the member of staff that had to put those out. Because presumably those little boxes will come in one big box. God knows how you could lift one of those. I couldn't even lift a little box. I don't know if I'd be doing dumbbells, Simon, to be honest. You can do it with bags of sugar as well, can't you? You just get bags of sugar. No, it could be a bit messy if the bag goes. Don't do it with a damp bag of sugar, for God's sake. Simon Also says, on the subject of BBC breakfast news, he said, are you mad? GMB with Piers Morgan is 1,000,000,000,000 times better than that trash programme, and the viewing figures for GMB will show that. Well, actually, Simon, I think the BBC breakfast figures are ahead and have been for some years now on that one, but perhaps you can find those for us. Piers gets the answers we want to hear from politicians, not cosy little chats about the weather. No, I wouldn't want BBC breakfast if you paid me. So that's Simon's take on that. Poor old Naga Monchetti. Oh, dear. You can't not fancy her. I can't believe there's not a straight bloke in this world who wouldn't fancy Naga Monchetti, Miss Smarty Pants. She's very, very beautiful. She really is. Simon says, if there's one thing we can take out of the coronavirus, it's how irrelevant and unimportant celebrities and pop stars and footballers really are, don't you think? NHS staff, 1,000,000 times more important, because how many celebrities and pop stars are out there saving life in hospital? Now they're too busy taking photographs of themselves, aren't we? Or we, he says we. Dead proud of our country and its NHS. Thank you, nurses, doctors, surgeons, care workers, and the other important key workers. So, a couple of messages there coming from Simon. I'm so sorry, Simon. I don't often, and as I say, the only reason I don't read your messages is because they're on a different place to everyone else's messages. Everyone else comes in by email or text message or chat box. Yours is the only one that comes on there, and I just simply forget to do them. And talking about unnecessary celebrities. And that they are a waste of space, most of these Z-listers, aren't they? You know, we do have a joke. We do have a joke about these non-entertaining people. They're all over the place. So we go on and on about Gemma Collins and all that. But she's not the only one, is she? There's another one here. Now, I'm not quite sure what this one's in. In The Sun this morning, Lauren Goodger, it says. G-O-O-D. That's a funny name. Goodger. Lauren Goodger shows off her curves in tight lycra before workout on her driveway. Now, if she was doing working out and she changed her shape, then I can sort of see that. But this just looks so fake. She's had stuff done. And it's so obvious. It's so fake. Lauren Goodger showed... What does she do? Is she like X Factor or something? I don't know what she does. Lauren Goodger showed off her curves in tight lycra as she walked out into her driveway. Oh, the only way is this. The former Towie star made use of her government-approved hour-long exercise. So where's this hour-long thing come from? Everyone keeps printing. No one ever said an hour-long. Made use of her government's approved hour-long exercise break. No, it's once a day. There's no mention of an hour anyway. Once a day in front of her house. And honestly, she's sitting there. Well, she's not. She's standing there. Let's go over to the other camera. I'm going to do the pose now. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Is it that one? That's the one. Is it that one? No, that's not that one. Is it 3? Is it? Oh, it's 2, isn't it? It's 2. There we go. I'm going to do her pose now, right? So she's clearly had her boobs done, and it looks like she's had her bum done as well. So she's standing there for the camera like this. She looks like a duck. Here, look, I've got one here. She looks like a blooming duck. Look, she's like that. So she pushes her bum out, and I know I'm growing breasts at the moment, but they're not as big as hers. Jeez, I mean, it's like, and the lips. Don't forget the lips. Right, because she's had the lips done. She's had it all done, dear. Must have cost a fortune. Well, at least she's got somewhere to spend her. The only way is Essex wages. I don't think they get that much on there. You know, I think you'd be very surprised how much those people get on those reality stars. They make the money from wearing clothes and stuff that manufacturers send them. So they send them stuff so that other people will see them wearing it, and then they, oh wow, you know what people are like, dear? Oh wow, what's her name again? Lauren Goodger. Oh wow, Lauren Goodger's got a beautiful pink tracksuit on that. I must go and buy one immediately. That's what people are like. I mean, Amazon has sold out of these since I started wearing it. They have. They don't write to me, though. No, get a letter from Amazon. Dear Chris, thanks very much for wearing our clouded jacket. Here is a cheque for £15,000, as we've now sold so many of them to the millions and billions of viewers regularly in tune to your programme. No, doesn't happen. It's that strange and mysterious. It's very strange and mysterious. It really is. Anyway, back onto this story. Lauren wore a figure-hugging two-piece from O Polly as she bent over to stretch herself out. I bet she bent over. With those enviable curves were on full display during the workout. She's got that look as well, with the lips. Don't forget the lips. Just look, turns her head to the side like that. Then she showed off more curves as she walked down the drive. And it's just completely unnatural. That no one can look like that. Lauren is one of the many business owners that have temporarily shut down because of the pandemic. Oh, what's she got then? Oh, she's got a beauty salon. Oh, there you go. There you go. She probably does it all herself. She's probably in a mirror there with an injection, doing her lips like that all the time. Oh, it's just, I don't know, I really don't know. She insisted she was actually looking forward to spending time alone in what she called quarantine. She said, if I had a boyfriend, definitely... Oh, honestly, what a thing to write. If I had a boyfriend, I'd definitely be pregnant by the end of the week. Oh, dear me. A baby boom has been predicted in December. Oh, that'd be interesting to see what happens in December. How many people suddenly have babies? Because we're all banging each other all the time, bored to tears. Why can't you just get a good book? Or sit down and watch one of these shows? Much more fun than 10 minutes in the bedroom, isn't it? I would have thought so anyway. I'd be very happy to sit there and watch my own shows from Till Kingdom Come. Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Good morning today to Mr. Jason Hughes. Hello, Jason. Gareth Loxton, Paul and Lou, Mick Davenport, Diane Jebb, there's Mandy Davenport, Sean Pye, all here today. Terry Turner, good morning, Terry. Lovely phone call from Terry Turner last night on our extremely popular phone-in show. Good morning, Terry. Claire, good morning, Claire. I haven't remembered what I was going to tell you about the lilybugs, Claire. Sorry. I haven't remembered what I was going to tell you about the lilybugs, I'm afraid, except that I found one, was it yesterday or the day before? I haven't done my lilybug search today. Keep doing them. Make sure you keep doing that, Claire. Just once a day, go out and check for those lilybugs and remove them and destroy them. They must be tasered. We must get, where is it now? We must get a taser for lilybugs. There we are. Morning. Hello to Shania. She's just woken up on time. Congratulations, Shania. There must be a way of setting an alarm. Mind you, I'd have to do the show at the same time every day, wouldn't I? Really? Setting an alarm for your computer to switch on and you'd wake up seeing my smiling face next to you on a computer. Is that appealing at all, Shania? Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah. I'm hoping Shania is, of course, head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. I'm hoping at some point to have a stained glass window of myself. Is there any companies that I should approach to be able to do one of those for me? I could have all my windows could be stained glass windows of my face. We might even give one away, as a bingo prize. Be quite a good idea, wouldn't it? Imagine going into your church and there's, the Holy Cross of Jesus. There's Mary. There's the other Mary. Oh, what's her name now? Mary. Can't remember the other Mary now. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Or was it? It might be someone else. Another female saint. Anyway, and there's the cross. And it's Chris Reardon. I'd like to be on the window above the organ, or where the choir sits. Just my beaming face, like smiling down on the congregation. What do you think? Is that going to work? I might have a word with Bishop Philip about that. See what he says when he's not got his little pink hat on. He's got a lovely pink hat, hasn't he? Beautiful pink hat that he wears. Good morning to Maureen joining us there on the text. Morning, Maureen. Daniel Woodhouse, we might have one extra listener this morning. Mama Woodhouse is in the house. Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Mama Woodhouse in the house today. Welcome to our strange and mysterious show. Welcome along, my darling. Just some sad old bloke here, sitting here in a little room on his own with nothing else to do. That's what this show's all about, my love. Morning to Mike Rees-Ponto. Hello to Michael Pullman. Adam the Plumber there. Excellent phone call from Adam the Plumber. Evening. Peter Powwadder, hello to you. John Aitken is there. Greetings, John. Daniel says breakfast TV proves one thing: you shouldn't be watching TV in the morning. Well, it's got incredibly boring, Daniel. It really has. It's just on and on about the virus all the time. You know, we do touch on and off it sometimes, but it's impossible to avoid now not talking about it at all. But God, don't know, there's nothing to break it up at all. It's just on and on. No, another 2 or 3 people who are in hospital and they make their speech. Joke. I'm not taking the mick. I'm telling you what the show's like. I wouldn't take the mick out of someone who's almost dead. No. But there they are on the screen. Please stay indoors. And then they start crying. Oh, what a great way to start your day. Watch these poor people suffering. It's awful. Awful. And out come the figures and all that. And there's just no happiness. And that's what we try and do. Bring a bit of happiness on this programme to your sad, lonely, pathetic lives. God knows they were sad and lonely before this virus started. They must be terrible now. Most of you are probably suicidal watching this. I'll be honest with you, after I've watched one of my own shows, I felt suicidal as well, I can't lie to you. I did. Morning to George Bond this morning. Gavin Bass, hello. Terry Turner says... Wasn't Joey Essex on that programme? Yes. Yeah, my younger nephew absolutely worshipped him. Joey Essex. What a thick person that was. Thick. If Joey Essex wants to make some money, I would happily employ him at my place. What, as one of those naked cleaners. You can get naked cleaners, can't you, Terry? I'm not sure if I'd do very well at doing that, but you can get naked cleaners. Why would you want a naked cleaner? I don't get it. Did you extras? I mean, I don't know. Where are we? Chris, it's all cosmetic surgery unethical then. No, it's not unethical. I just don't like it. Are we free to spend our money how we want? Yes. And I suggest you'd spend an awful lot on surgery, Peter. Please start immediately by the look of you from here. Please start immediately with your cosmetic surgery. You're quite right. Please spend as much as possible on your face now. I would recommend that because I've seen your picture. Stephen, what about Mr. Trump? What does he have cosmetic surgery? I don't think he has. No one could look that bad. Oh dear. Good morning to Rachel. Morning, Rachel. I've got a complaint about you, Rachel. Last night, I was flicking over all your videos. 1:30, I turned that phone off. I was laying there in bed. Oh, that's quite a good one. I watched that. Flicked another one. That's quite a... Oh, God. It's your fault I'm blooming tired this morning. Couldn't get to sleep. And you know how it is. You finish turning that... and you turn the phone off, and there's something that phone does to your eyes, and you close your eyes, and all you can see is like this white square in front of your eyes, innit? It's your fault I got off late last night. And then after I watched yours, started watching other people. Oh, dear. It's so addictive, TikTok, isn't it? Eh? Rachel can do something very strange with her eye, actually. I saw her TikTok video. She pushes her eye like that, and it comes out of her mouth. Weird. Some people can do some very strange tricks on this channel, I tell you that now. Where are we now? David Fryer, good morning up to you. Just woken up to your show. Welcome along to you, sir. Is that everyone? That's all right, Peter. Have you made the appointment yet, Peter? Let me find a cosmetic surgeon for you. I mean, I can't recommend one because I don't have anything done myself. But do try and go to someone who can do the job well. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean someone who's going to charge you a lot of money, because we've all seen Jackie Stallone. Oh, it looks dreadful. Try and get someone to do something to you if you want that doesn't make it so obvious, like a blooming fish, great big bum sticking out a mile, and these breasts that are like this. How unnatural. I don't like to see unnatural things. I'm sorry, I don't. It's not natural to have all these things done. But I would recommend, highly recommend, as you mentioned it yourself, that you have as much cosmetic done as you possibly can, as you mentioned it. All right. Did anyone go out and see the satellites last night at all? We didn't bother in the end. We weren't sure what time they were on. Mark was saying 10 o'clock. Then I looked. I couldn't find any mention of 10 o'clock anywhere, so I don't know where we saw that. It was 10 o'clock the night before. That was Wednesday, or I thought it was 10 o'clock. And then someone else says, no, they got the time wrong. It was 9 o'clock. So I don't know where. I don't think we're ever going to see these satellites. My sister saw them. Great big line of them moving slowly across the sky. All looking very strange and mysterious. Yes. Very strange and mysterious. Gavin says he doesn't need any work doing. He looks okay. Right, okay, Gavin. What else have we got here? Did anyone watch the big night in? As I say, I was here last night doing a little phone in, and a delightful amount of you people there were watching the show and joining in as well. So we didn't see the this big, what's it called? Big night in on BBC One Colour last night. Just wondered what you thought of it. I've seen various different posts on Facebook. Some people thought it was all right. Other people thought it was absolutely dire. And then, of course, we got the people that don't want to pay anything for anything screaming, "Ow, is this what I pay my licence fee for?" No, it's not. It's for a whole range of other things. The BBC website, BBC Local Radio, BBC National Radio, BBC Television, the iPlayer, all that. That is what your licence fee is for, not one silly little piddly programme that you just happens not to like. Moan and moan and moan. Because no one wants to pay for anything anymore. They don't want to pay for anything. You know, I started charging you to watch this programme, 50 pence a show. You'd all go and find something else. Absolutely. Anyway, it says here the BBC's Big Night kicked off on Thursday evening to raise funds for children in need, comic relief and the battle against the virus. The evening featured the return of comedies like Little Britain, which we love. We love Little Britain. Miranda and The Vicar of Dibley, with specially recorded skits as the cast of the erstwhile, what's erst? Oh, someone's. They haven't been doing their spell checking on the Daily Mail this morning. Anyway, Lenny Henry led proceedings. You see, I don't find him very funny anymore. He was hilarious, Lenny Henry, and then he started getting into all the political stuff and racism and all that, and I kind of thought, oh no, you're not funny anymore, mate. It's a shame, really, because he had a lot of talent, I think. But I didn't see the show, so I can't comment on it at all. But Lenny Henry led proceedings alongside Davina McCow, Matt Baker. After the first hour, Paddy McGuinness, again, I'm not keen on Paddy, and Zoe Ball joined Lenny in the studio. Little Britain was the hit of the night, as stars Matt Lucas and David Walliams recreated some of their iconic and very un-PC characters using makeshift costumes from their homes. Now, as I say, I didn't see it. I just hope the characters were as they were before and haven't been cleaned up for the millennials. Oh, we're so offended by that. Oh, that's really racist. Oh, that's really homophobic. Because they don't see humour. They can't understand humour, these people, you see. They can't see the difference between someone being nasty, i.e. racism, humour, stuff like that, They can't see a difference between that and comedy. They don't see it. Well, we do. Viewers were thrilled to see the characters return, flocking to Twitter to laud the comedy duo's efforts and demand they shoot a whole new series when the virus thing is over. That Little Britain sketch was the best. Bring back Little Britain. Dust, anyone? Dust. That was the fat woman, weren't it? The fat woman who runs Fat Club. She's so funny. But see, it's comedy. It is not taking the mick out of fat people. It's not. It's comedy. It's absolutely comedy. And even I know some of the millennial gays. Jim Davidson would say he was terribly homophobic. This, that, and the other. I don't think he was. He was just having a laugh. I bet if Jim Davidson was sitting here, he said, all right, Chris, I'll keep your hand off my knee. I would find that amusing. I would find that funny. He's having a laugh. Why can't people tell this anymore? The Little Britain sketch was the best part of the whole show. My son was introduced to the wonders of Little Britain and roared with laughter at the homemade wigs, priceless quality. And some of those wigs were awful. I see the pictures here, pictures in the Daily Mail. A third penned, don't you all agree that the boys are still amazing? And when all this is over, we need more and more. Did anyone see this last night? A fourth wrote, Little Britain was everything I had hoped for and more. It was like we never left. Another posted, amazing Little Britain performance on the big night. Half the fun was seeing the creativity of the costumes and prop making skills of some of those wigs. It's one of the wigs where he's doing the fat lady running Fat Club, because that was the whole point of that Fat Club sketch, you see. If you don't know it, there was this woman called Marge. She was running a fat club, like a Slimmers World or a Weight Watchers, one of those type of things. But she herself was enormous, right? And she was telling these people, what have you had to eat today? Cake? You look like you've had cake. Lots of cake. Cake, cake, cake. And she was a bit like that. But the comedy of it was that she was bigger than everyone that was there to see her fat club. And she was having a go at them all the time. Hilarious. Anyway, she's made this wig for Marge, and it's just basically a piece of cardboard like that. And she's drawn hair on it, because that's all she could do from her home. She said, first off, it was the return of Andy and Lou, with Lou telling Andy, I've got some bits in for your lunch. Chicken nuggets, chips, more chips. What would you like? Andy insisted he wanted a bat for tea. A bat for tea. I don't think that's a good idea, insisted Lou. Oh, I've got to see this. Is this on the iPlayer colour? Is it? Next was Bubbles. Bubbles de Vere. I remember Bubbles de Vere. In fact, let me see if it's here. Is it? I've got to know where. There it is. My little nephew, years ago when he was like 10, made a Call Me Bubbles jingle for what was my offshore music radio show at the time. Now, he's now 20, he's either 22 or 23, my nephew. When he was 10, he made this.
Call me Bubbles, darling, call me Bubbles.
Do you want it again?
Call me Bubbles, darling, call me Bubbles.
I think that's probably, was it my favourite character on Little Britain? I like so many of them. But Bubbles de Vere was hilarious. She was this great big fat lump. And again, she would just go in and pretend she had all airs and graces, you see. And pretend she was something she wasn't. A hilarious character. Bubbles de Vere. And it says in the story in the Daily Mail, next was Bubbles, who declared, darling, you know, a lot of people are complaining about the lockdown. I've managed to lock down with one of the most illegible men in Britain, Philip Schofield. Can't wait to get my hands on him. Actor Anthony Head made a cameo as the Prime Minister, with David playing Assistant Sebastian. Anthony Head. I've got to say, I don't know that name, Anthony Head. He's probably huge, is he? Is he huge? I'm not good with actors and celebrities and things. Only the ones that I kind of go with, you know. I mean, some of my favourite programmes on it. I could tell you Jo, what's it? See, her name's gone there. Jo something. She plays the lady who's in Jo. Thank you very much, Mark. £5.50 coming in for Mark Jones there. Super chat coming for Mark. You can get yourself a tin of beans. I shall do. Thank you very much for that, Mark. Mark's the only person now who hasn't received his mask. Mark's still waiting for his mask at the moment, but we're going to have to get another one made for Mark as his one. There aren't any more for sale. She's just about got enough material to make one more. So I've already ordered that, actually, Mark. And if yours comes, then let us know. And that'd be fine, and then I can use the other one as a prize. But there won't be any more of the mask for sale, because we just haven't got the material, all right? And to get hold of anything at the moment is a little bit difficult. The bloke who makes the bags, well, he had to stop making the bags because he couldn't get the ink, you know, unfortunately. Anyway, back to this then. this Prime Minister one. I'm just trying to think of the Prime Minister. Ah, yeah, that's the one. So it's the Prime Minister and he's got a gay assistant who fancies him, isn't he? That's right. That's right. That's right. It says, I've missed you so much. I've got through so many tissues, cried Sebastian. Have you been crying after the Prime Minister? Yeah, that too, he says. Next up was the look in my eyes hypnotist. Look in my eyes, not around my eyes, look into my eyes. I remember this. Who said to the camera, a hair transplant is a life-saving operation and I do need it right now. You're back in the room. Majority of fat fighters. Marge of fat fighters was next. There she is. She says, hello, a lot of my fatties have been putting on a bit of weight during lockdown. If you're feeling peckish, oh, I love cake, just try a little dust. And it goes on. Just amazing. I've got to see this. Can someone see if this is on the iPlayer? I'd love to see. Oh, probably on YouTube, actually. I expect it's on YouTube, so I've got to watch that. Very, very exciting to be able to watch that. Good. Let's see if you're talking about this thing there. Shania says our church is continuing to live stream, which is great. Yes, a lot of them are now. Some of different sort of varying types of quality there, Shania. It looks like the church in Wokingham, where I play the organ sort of once every 4 or 5 weeks. Obviously not at the moment now. It looks like he's got some sort of professional setup there. I think he's got a proper, not even a webcam. I think he's got a proper camera in there set up. You know, like what's those DXR, DLS, DSL cameras, something like D something cameras. I think he's got one of those on a tripod in there because it's just outstanding, the picture quality and the sound quality. And I also think he's plugged the sound straight into possibly a laptop somewhere in the sacristy. I reckon that he's got some sort of setup there. Whereas the church, both the one in Roehampton, looks like he's got simply, and there's so many, it's easy to do actually. He looks like he's got an iPhone with him, right? And he's literally propped it up on him in front of the altar, just like that. Okay? Which is all right. But the sound, you know, it's obviously being picked up from the mic, so not as good. The one in Bracknell is probably, and I don't mean to run it down, but it's out of all of, it's not, I'm not going to say the worst one, because that's the wrong term to use in this case. It's probably the one of least quality than all the others, where it is literally, and it's so obvious, someone is holding an iPhone like that and follows the priest around. The thing is, I don't think he ever puts the iPhone down, because even when the reading's on, it's a bit like this. But, you know, they all do their best. So, varying different rates of quality for that. What is your... Oh, we've got hiccups. What is your setup in your church, Shania, or don't you know? Is it basically an iPhone just propped up on something? Or is it something a bit better than that? Ideally, I would recommend, if a church is going to do that, ideally they'd have like a computer, a laptop, a decent laptop, and one of these cameras that I'm using here, the Logitech Brio camera, plugged into that laptop, and the sound also coming from their audio system in the church, also plugged directly into the laptop. You'd have to get an external sound card to do that, and then plug that in there, and do it like that. That would be the best way to do it. But I have a feeling the church in Wokenham's got something better set up than that, which even I don't have here, which is great. Rachel didn't watch the big night in. No, everyone was here, weren't you? We were all here last night. I think we had a good time last night. I think we did. Michael, I'm a millennial. What about the boomers? They are just as bad. I am a baby boomer. Baby boomer, Michael. Baby boomer from the 60s. Peter says, better than the wig you had on Sunday. Shall I put that on again? When I was doing my thing. Claire saw Little Britain's wigs. It was the funniest part of the evening. I must see that, Claire. Mandy watched it, thought it was okay. Mike Risponto is getting into a routine every morning as I'm now on furlough. Get up, make a cup of coffee, sit in an armchair and watch United Kingdom talk. Is that your routine, Mike Risponto? I think Yeah, someone on the telly was saying that. I swear that a routine has kept me sane all these years, to be honest. Because when I gave up the some nights at work, simply just to slow down a bit, I found that incredibly difficult. And then I discovered this sort of thing doing all this, and I do have a routine. I do think a routine keeps you sane. I really do. You know, to get out of bed and, wow, what shall I do now? I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. You know, not really. And of course, I don't have to do anything. Don't have to do anything. Nothing. Nothing at all. Don't have to do anything. But my alarm goes off at 7:30. Sometimes I don't have it set to on. But generally, even when it's not on, I'll wake up. This morning, I woke up at 7 o'clock. Woke up at 7 this morning. Laid in bed for a while. You know, till about 7:30, watching Naga on the telly. And do you know, I think if I was straight, I think I'd fancy her. I do. I think I'd fancy Naga Monchetti. I do. Very beautiful. So then I'll get up and I'll tell my Amazon Echo to turn on the kettle downstairs. Right? I know that takes about 10 minutes, so 10 minutes on. Right, okay. And then I go downstairs. Right, I'll open my eyes now. Go downstairs, the kettle's boiled. Make my tea, have breakfast in front of the telly. I'll pop outside to the front, just have a little look around. You know, smell the fresh air and listen to the birds singing. Then I come up here and do this. And ideally, I'd like to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning. But it doesn't always work out like that. This morning I got up here at about 8:30 and it wasn't too bad today, by 8:45. In 15 minutes, I had everything ready. 15 minutes. There was plenty of stories to read you in the newspapers that I was able to pick out quickly. Other times, it can take 45 minutes. You just never know. Depends. What's hard at the moment is sifting through the endless virus stories and trying to find something else of interest. You know, it's quite difficult. But yeah, and then so I'd done that, right? I know that when I finish my show, I want to be out the door as quickly as possible so that I can either go for my walk or my cycle, depending on what day it is. Today I'll be going for a walk. Then I know that I'll come back, I'll have my lunch, watch a bit of telly, do a bit in the garden or something, washing, maybe something like that. Then I go to bed. Couple of hours, and then when I get up again. Tonight there'd be nothing to do, but I'll come in here and play about with the computers or something, and then watch a bit of telly, and then go back to bed again. That's my day. I have a routine. I think it's really important to have a routine. So many people up there, they just lay in bed till 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We speak to Joey Millen last night. This is not to criticise what he does, but he would say, what time do you get up? And they just started laughing, him and his girlfriend. I said, well, go on then, 12 o'clock. They don't get up till 12 o'clock. I think they just don't do anything. You know, they go for, I think they get on a bus, and they go down the shops or something like that. Not at the moment. You know, but I do think you need a routine, Mike Responto. And you look like you've got a bit of one already. I would work on your routine so you've got something happening. Right, at 1 o'clock I do this, at 3 o'clock, and I do believe that helps people. You know, people who retire. You know, when they retire, if it's someone who's like worked every day since they've been like 16 years old or something like that. They worked every day and then suddenly nothing. And in 3 years' time, they're dead because they felt they had no purpose in life. Now, if someone won't give you a purpose in life, of course, one of the wonderful purposes in life, if you're older and you've got children, is grandchildren come along. You know, there is your purpose, to serve your children by helping out with your grandchildren. You still have a purpose. When you take that away, or it stops, perhaps. As children get older, I don't suppose, you know, it's like the little children at the moment, like my great nieces and great nephews, who I love very much, and we have a great laugh. I have a great laugh with them when I go and see them. At some point, they will become teenagers. They're not going to want to hang out with Uncle Chris, are they? I know that. But then if you can hang on a bit longer, more come. And you can start terrorising them as well. I do like to terrorise them. I do like to terrorise great nieces and great nephews. That's great fun, you know. Usually I manage to get at least one of them crying in an afternoon. Uncle Chris. I think, who do I terrorise more than anyone? It's got to be Evie, I think. I'm so horrible to Evie. I don't know why it's Evie. But she'll be carrying a bag or something. And I'll take something out of her bag and Evie, give it back. And she starts, give it back. Give it back. And Harry, Chris has got this. And then Harry will start attacking me, trying to get whatever it is, like a hairbrush or a bar of chocolate or an apple out of her bag. And I start running. And she starts crying. Oh, aren't I terrible? Terrorising children. That's what I do. Terrorise great nieces and nephews. But as they get older, they won't want. I understand that, you know. I understand that. As they get older, they just go and want to do their thing, you know. Yeah. But for that period of time, you become useful. You become useful, don't you? As not so much as an uncle, but as a grandparent. You do become useful. So there is your thing to do. But if you've got nothing, if you retire and there's nothing, what's the purpose in you being here? And I think that does affect you. So I absolutely agree with that on the subject of routines and things like that, you know. Claire, David Williams being a lady was my favourite part of Little Britain. Was that on there last night? I'm a lady, you know. I'm a lady. We are ladies. Let's have afternoon tea. We are ladies. Michael says, no more being made. That's a shame. I wanted one. Yeah, I'm afraid there's no more of those. We got no material left, I'm afraid. You know, there's no material left. So when something comes, I think I've kind of learned to only do one lot of those things, because then you order another lot and then they just sit here because everyone's got one. I've got like, what we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got about 10 T-shirts at the moment sitting there. But I mean, they can go as bingo prizes as well. That's okay. But yeah, so I could get another 10 come, you know, and you'd buy one and I'd be stuck with 9 of them. It's just how it is, really. Park Nest, a very good morning to Park Nest. Mark, would it be easier for Miss Butler to send it to me direct? I think it's coming to me now. I've got a feeling she's already done it, so it's on the way, so thank you for that. Adrian, did you say it was time for cake? Oh, Adrian, dear. When this is all over, me and you I will buy a cake and bring it into Central Station, and we will have it. Do you like apple pie, Adrian? Do you like, I don't think it's going to be Christmas. I don't know if... I don't know if the pub can survive until Christmas, to be honest, but it remains to be seen. It does remain to be seen there. Colin, hello Colin. The quality of your church stream is superb, Chris. Definitely a professional setup with a recording kit. Now, Colin, let you into a little secret there. I did mention this the other day. It is not my equipment in the church, right? Basically, they are streaming. This is when I've been broadcasting the masses from Wokingham, Corpus Christi at the moment. They themselves are streaming onto Facebook. Okay, I don't know what setup they've got there, but watching it and certainly listening to it, it's decent. I think he's got a professional camera there, plugged into a laptop. He's certainly got the sound going straight into the laptop rather than the microphone and all that, right? But it's nothing to do with me. Now, the only reason I put it on YouTube, I'll be honest with you, is because Facebook, I can't watch that on my Facebook Live videos. I can't watch them on my television downstairs. I've got a smart TV downstairs, right? But it hasn't got like a Facebook app on it. You can't watch Facebook Lives on there. So, with the software that brings this show to you, I have a thing called Window... hang on, let me have a look. Your screen will go black for a minute while I just have a look at this. 1 minute. What's it called again? Window capture. Okay, so basically you see that there now, yeah? Right, that is what I see in front of me. While I'm doing my show, that is exactly what I see in front of me. You can see there my picture. There's the amount of people watching, the amount of likes. That on the right there is if anyone's super chatted today, so it's £5.50 from Mark Jones. And on the right there is the messages, which you will see move up. You see, you can't see my cursor. That's one thing you can't see. If I hit the little blue button there, you'll see it jump down to the next lot of messages, yeah? When I say to you, you know when I do the raffle tickets and I say, right, scrolling, I have to scroll up like that, right? Because what happens is that they jump down as they did then. And that's how it works. See? So what I do when the church is streaming on Facebook, I bring that up, okay? And then I go onto that little thing that I click on there, and it picks up whatever picture is on your screen, and then I can push it out onto YouTube. The only reason I did that is because my downstairs telly can get YouTube. So then I've got all that set up and it's running, and I go downstairs and I watch the mass on YouTube, and it's basically like being at church. And you do the whole thing. You don't just sit there and watch it. I'm sure Shania does the same thing. You sit there and you kneel down when you're supposed to kneel down. You stand up. You respond. You respond with the responses that you're supposed to say. So that's what that's for. That's how that works. All right. That's not actually my equipment there. Just to let you know. Thank you very much for mentioning that, Colin. There, Terry. I have to admit, I did watch a little bit of the Big Night In after your phone-in show. However, I was very disappointed, and I thought it was more like the big flop, which a few people have said today. Actually, Terry, on the Twitter and on the Facebook, people weren't impressed by it. A very good morning to Roy's the boy. Hello to you, sir. Welcome back to our little show, Roy. You can get top-end cameras that actually stream direct to YouTube from the camera itself. What ones are they, Mike? Perhaps you'll send me a little link on the Facebook and I can have a look at those. We always want to up things. We're going to move forward all the time. Never sit still. Got to move forward. Got to move forward. We have got to move forward. Do you know, when I put that wig on, I seem to become someone else. I noticed that. Well, see if LaBelle's here in a minute, and we'll ask her. I think you become someone else when a wig goes on. I feel much more confident with that wig on. Perhaps I should become a drag queen. What do you think? I'd have to sing. I wouldn't be singing all those old-fashioned songs. I don't. Oh, maybe I would. At first I was afraid. I was petrified. Oh, by the great Gloria Gaynor. We bow down to her name. The great Gloria Gaynor, Queen of Disco. Her and Donna Summer, weren't it? Rachel is still having problems. Are you still having problems with your eyes? When you're relaxing, pop a slice of cucumber on them. It should help with the itching. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Cucumber eyes. Cucumber. There's got to be a video in there somewhere, Rachel. Cucumber eyes, I reckon. Claire agrees about having a routine. I've been self-employed for 37 years, still enjoy it, always know what I'll be doing and never short of things to do. Well, that's the thing, Claire. I keep saying it. The only time I get bored is when I'm sitting in front of the telly. I'm very restless. Unless it's captured me fairly quickly on. I mean, the amount of Netflix films I'll watch half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I thought, can't get into it, and then turn it off, don't finish the film. Because I've been bored by it. It's got to capture me fairly quickly. All the James Bond's film, except one, Quantum of Solace, which I just found boring. I didn't enjoy that at all. But every other single James Bond film, as soon as it starts, it's got you. It's got you straight away. The Star Trek film, that the very first Star Trek film on the reboot with it was about 4 or 5 years ago now. They only done 2 so far. That one had me like that straight away. If a film can do that, then I'll enjoy it. But, I do get bored in front of the telly. Shania doesn't know, but the quality isn't the best. I'll be honest, Shania, I haven't watched your live stream yet. There's a separate stream for YouTube and Facebook. So they've got 2 devices running. Okay, well, you can do it like that, if you can't. Perhaps they just don't have the technical knowledge there. I mean, it does require a little bit of technical knowledge. Oh, there's LaBelle. A very good morning, LaBelle. You're so mean, you horrible, horrible man. All part of the fun, LaBelle. All part of the fun. It's called irony, darling. Irony. Good morning, LaBelle. Listen, LaBelle, when you put your wig on and do your thing, do you feel you become someone different? There we are. I'm glad you're there. Because I certainly do. When I put that it's a blooming old thing. It needs a blooming good brush. It only costs about £10 off Amazon. In fact, I ordered another one some time ago, and it's not come yet. And I emailed the people, which unfortunately they say it was sent out on the 2nd of April. So that's clearly got lost somewhere. So I'm waiting to get a reply from them there. Perhaps I should buy a professional wig, LaBelle. What do I need to buy? A professional one? I could do my first show in New York. You can dress me. You can show me what to do with the makeup and all that. Mandy gets up no later than 8 o'clock in the morning. And between 8 and the time your show coming on, she's done the breakfast, put the washing on, done the washing up, maybe even put the vacuum around as well. My mum used to vacuum every single day. I bet you do as well, Mandy. I can imagine yours being a very clean house, dear. A cleaner. I can imagine you having to clean up after Mick all the time. I bet he's dirty, isn't he? When I say dirty, I don't mean dirty as in personally, like just leaving stuff everywhere. That's the wrong word. The correct word would be messy. I bet he's messy, isn't he? You know, papers everywhere. Underpants halfway across the bedroom floor. You know, toilet not flushed properly. Is he a bit like that? Little hairs from where he's shaving in the sink. You know, little curly hairs left in the bath. Oh, no, dear. Oh, my God, no. Wash them down, please, immediately. How awful. Let's see. Did I see Trevor there? Good morning to Trevor this morning. Morning to Trevor. David swam the English Channel for charity. Yeah, he did that some time ago, didn't he? I remember that. Shania does take part in the mass. She had a lady from the parish drop off an Easter egg for me, and we said a prayer on the doorstep. Was that before or after you ate the Easter egg? Was it a big one? Was it a Galaxy or Cadbury's? Huh? Look at that. Which one? Mick gets bored watching the show. We get bored reading your messages, Mick. Don't worry about that, mate. That's why you don't get many of them read out anymore. They're just boring. Boring messages, Mick. I'm sorry. I can only speak honestly, just like you do to me, my love. Boring messages. I have to keep flicking over them. They're so boring. Sometimes I see your messages and you might see my... If you ever see my eyes glazing over, Mick, I've just spotted another one of your messages and there'd be like an angry face next to it somewhere. Let me see if you've used any angry faces. Ah, there we are. Look, angry faces straight away. As soon as I looked over, there it is, angry faces. He just sits there being angry all the time. Very bad for your heart, sweetie. Very, very bad for your heart being angry. Very bad indeed. Good morning to Ray Reynolds, who is still painting his conservatory at the moment. Fixed a small piece of plasterboard this morning. Well, there you go. There's a new job for you, Ray. DIY Ray, we'll call you. Polyfiller by the ton would make good makeup for pensioners. I think you'll need an awful lot of that, Ray, to be honest. If you want to look young again, my friend, try. One of the things I watched last night, so we talked about that big night up. I must see if I can find the Little Britain sketches on there. And then I watched this abuse programme on BBC Three on a more sort of serious thing. I thought it was a film at first, but it wasn't. It was a documentary. And it was about this bloke who was abused by his girlfriend. It was awful. Awful. And you often don't... You rarely hear stories about men being abused, but it does happen. And this bloke, basically, he'd been in a relationship with this girl who gradually took over. And he said it starts very subtly. You know, you're going out with this girl and you think everything's all right. And then... he'll put some clothes on. She said, "Oh, I don't like you wearing grey. I don't think you should be wearing grey." And you don't think anything more of it. Oh, it's quite nice. She's noticed something, but she doesn't like it. I'll start wearing red next or something like that. And then it's like, "Oh, I don't like your haircut like that. I think you need the haircut in a different way." So he goes out and cuts his hair in a different way. And gradually it gets worse and worse and ends up basically with her cutting him with knives and hitting him with a hammer. And then she had him backed into a corner holding a kettle full of boiling water and chucked it at him, like opening the lid up and chucked this boiling water over him. And it shows you a picture of him in the hospital, all scolded. And the doctors know. They know by injury what's going on. Oh, I accidentally fell over. How can you accidentally fall over onto a kettle several times? No, it's not going to happen, is it? It was awful. And doctor saying, look, is there something you want to tell us here? But no, everything's fine. I've just had an accident. And then the police turn up at the house because someone's reported screaming and shouting and banging. They open the door and the bloke is sitting there on the stairs because there's pictures, from like the police have got little cameras now, which is a great idea. I seriously think all police should have tasers. Absolutely. Tasers. Anyway, so he's got this little camera on there. And he goes into this house and the woman answers the door. Young girl she is. Yes? Oh, so we've had a report. Oh, well, come in. She's all calm and collected. This bloke is sitting on the stairs, huddled up like that. Again, all calm and collected. Is there something wrong, sir? No, we've just had a little bit of a row. Everything's fine. And the policeman noticed straight away that he had all these damaged things. His arm had been cut. Has anyone seen this? It was on BBC Three Colour. It's on the iPlayer. And his bandaged up arm and all that because it's all been scalded. Nasty. His arm was red raw. And he had to go into the hospital, right, when they took his, I don't know what he had on, a sleeve or something. And when they took it off and saw the damage, and they literally had to scrape all the skin away that was damaged. And it was just like a red raw arm. It was awful what this bloke had done to him. And of course they'd had 2 babies, and every time a baby comes along he thinks that's going to sort it all out, and of course it doesn't. The family are in pieces because they're trying to help him, and whenever and then she sets up another Facebook account, but instead of saying Alex, Alex, it's Alix, right, but she pretends to be him. And the family send him messages on there, and she replies to them stuff like, please don't contact me. And then his granddad sent him a message saying, we don't know what we've done, but we hope your life is okay. And the response that come back was, again, I don't want to know you, that sort of thing. But it wasn't him. It was her sending the messages back. Eventually, the police were called at some point, and the policeman tried to get him to tell him stuff and this, that and the other. Anyway, so they're in the house, and the policeman's taken him up to the bedroom and asked the lady to stay in the kitchen with one of the babies, or 2 of the babies. And talking to him, and no, everything's fine, everything's all right. We just have a row now and again. Everything, and this was actually him, not an actor, because it was on the police camera. And you see him in this corner. He looks like he's at death's door. He's so thin because she's not been feeding him. She's not been feeding him either. Just little bits here and there. He looks so ill and scruffy and all this. And eventually they managed to get him into the police car. Right? So I think at this point, it might be actors at this point. Managed to get him into the police car, and the policeman says, right, I'm going to turn my camera off now. He turns the camera off like that. Right? And a little red light goes out. And he says, right, there's just you and me sitting in the car now. No one else is here. Tell me what's going on. And he tells him what's going on, and that's it. That's it. They pull her in. And she gets interviewed, and she's just so cool and calm and collected about everything. You couldn't. I was watching this program in disbelief last night, and the person getting abused is so scared of the abuser that they deny it. They deny it to everyone. Of course, it was interviewing his mother. His mother was in tears, this, that and the other. Oh, it was awful, awful. So if you get a chance and you want to watch something like that, it might not be for everyone. That's on BBC Three. It came up. Let me see if I can find the programme. Oh, dear. What's that there? Sorry, I've just pushed a button there. Abuse. Let me see if I can find the title. Abused by My Girlfriend. That's it. Okay. Abused by My Girlfriend is the programme. It's about a year old. That's Murdered by My Boyfriend. I don't know what that one is. That's another documentary, is it? Oh, God's sake, man. It's on. There it is. Oh, it's just come up on the BBC iPlayer. Here, I'll post this on the video thing, and you can copy that if you want. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Let's see if I can just do that for you. There you go. Okay, that's where you can find that. All right. Has that come up there? Can you see that? I can't see that. That's not come up to me. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, so that's where that is if you want to watch that, my darling. Right. Sorry, I'm just having a moment. Sean says, my cousin used to get beaten up by his first wife. Yeah, it's frightening. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. Good morning to Dan S. Morning. LaBelle, for some, like any actor, once the costumes and wigs go on, the characters come to life. For me, no. LaBelle and Seneca are the same. She's just prettier and flirtier. I wouldn't say you weren't pretty out of your costume, my love. You're fine, darling. You are fine as you are. No cosmetic surgery needed, LaBelle. None needed, my darling. You're perfect. Did you see Mother's Son on ITV? It was good. No, don't know that one. Don't know that one, I'm afraid. No one's seen that. Mick is always getting verbally abused physically by Mandy. Of course you are. Because you're a bad person, darling. I couldn't get my whip out then. Sorry about that, Mandy. A whip failure then. A whip failure. What are we saying there? Okay, Jason, most of those stories get swept under the carpet, men being abused by the missus. Well, they do. They do. Just a dreadful programme, but it's very good if you want to watch that, okay. What else have we got here? Right, story here. Hairdressers. When's the last time you had your hair cut properly? Not like me, you know. We're all buying these hair clippers. They're much more expensive though than when I paid £16 for mine. That same thing is going like for 50 or 60 quid now because everyone wants one. Well, the bad news is, in the Daily Mail today, hairdressers could stay closed for another 6 months at least, even if lockdown is lifted, because experts can't find a way to reopen them without the risk of further spreading the virus. It says the government's team of top scientists believe there is no way for stylists to cut people's hair without risking spreading the virus. Experts claim the same is true for beauty salons, which would mean 41,000 businesses nationwide will remain closed until 2021 or late 2020 at least. It comes after the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, refused to bow to growing political pressure to set out how the UK government will ease its lockdown measurements. And I got to say, you know, some of the way they're interviewed there, they go on and on. Well, can you tell us when you're going to lift the lockdown? What have you put in place to do this? Well, they simply don't know. It's no point in banging away. It's like, you know, flogging a dead horse there. If they don't know, they don't know. This is new. No one knows what to do. It says Britons have been unable to get their hair cut since March the 23rd. Many have had to resort to cutting their own hair or entrusting their loved ones to do it for them. I would imagine it's easier for some. If you've got two people in the house, that must be fairly easy, at least for men's hair. You know, with a pair of clippers like that, and I don't know. Even if you want, like, you know, cutting hair, I suppose it's quite easy for one person to sort of, I don't know, really get a piece of paper like that or something and a straight line to cut it like that. That would kind of work, wouldn't it? Of course, on your own, like I am, I find it very difficult. I hate doing it. Absolutely hate it. One senior government source told the newspaper people's hair is going to get pretty long. We're all going to end up looking like Captain Caveman. Do you remember him? Captain Caveman by the end of this. So it's not good if you want to go and have your hair cut, boys and girls. I know one or two of you have done it. Michael says hairdressers over in Australia stayed open. They reckon they're essential businesses. Is that right? Really? My friend's a hairdresser in Sydney. He's one of the roads off Oxford. So you've got the Oxford Street, haven't you? You've got the park. Hyde Park there. So going up there, and he's off to the left and down like a road that runs parallel to Oxford Street. Paul, his name is. Yeah, he's a nice bloke, he is. Jason Hughes hasn't been to the hairdresser since the late 1980s. Mike Risponto bought hair clippers 5 years ago and never used them. Thinking of having a go now. Well, you could do it. You've got someone else there, so it'd be fairly easy. Literally, you just select what sort of thing you've got. I have, I think mine is set on 0.5, right? And then you push them against your head and just do that. It's all right at the front. You can see what you do. It's the back that I have trouble with. I always leave it, and round here, I seem to miss that bit round there. And then trying to hold a blooming mirror. Oh, it's just impossible. Really is. Rachel loved Captain Caveman. Yeah, we love Captain Caveman. Trevor Mandy is doing the dance. Watch me whip watch. There's a lot of whipping going on today. I don't know why that is. Naughty whipping going on. There's a man sick here about his partner nagging. Here you are, chaps. Have you got a lady nagging you all the time? I love this. In the Daily Mirror today, Dave Eastwood has spent the last 2 years building a new home for him and his partner Heaven in West Yorkshire. Beautiful, stunning part of the world. When we can move around again, go and have a holiday in Yorkshire. Don't get on a plane. Something like that. What's that Ryanair bloke? What's his name? Michael, whatever his name is. He's saying he's not going to block off one of the seats so we have a bit more distance between anyone. He's just an arrogant git, isn't he? That Michael, whatever his name, Michael something or other. Anyway, stay in the UK. Go to places like Yorkshire, Scotland, Wales, the Lake District, Somerset. So many places you can go in this country. You don't need to get on any planes. All right, the weather might not always be that good, but so what? Don't make any difference, does it? Dave Eastwood spent the last 2 years building a new home for him and his partner in West Yorkshire. During the build, the pair had been forced to live in a garage. The unusual living situation has meant that Helen has only had access to a shower. Now, I only have a shower here and at the caravan. I don't like baths. Sitting in there and all that dirty old water. Oh, no, dear. You know, I like to have a shower. I have a lovely shower here, which is about 20-odd years old now. I'm surprised it's still going, to be honest. But I've got a shower here, power shower. You turn it on, the water gush, takes a layer of skin off as it comes at you. And similar one, I had the shower done up at the caravan as well. I had that done. I had a new water heater put on, and that is just like a power shower as well now. Fantastic. He's really missed the lady, his partner, who's 60, has really missed being able to relax in a bath. A fact that she's gone on and on to Dave on numerous occasions. Fed up of her complaining, he decided to take matters into his own hands and built a makeshift jacuzzi to shut her up using the rusty bucket of a dumper truck. This is a great story, this is. Dave, 33, turned the digger he'd been using to build the house into a temporary spa day for Helen during the lockdown, filling the bucket up with water and shower gel. Undaunted by his lack of electricity, Dave created the bubbles using a hand drill with a plastering attachment to drive some air into the liquid. Once the water had warmed up, retired childminder climbed in via a ladder and enjoyed a glass of wine and a long-awaited soak. So there you go. No need to spend your money on a jacuzzi. Some of those hot tubs are so dear, aren't they? My brother-in-law bought my sister a hot tub some years ago. I was surprised at the cost of it. Ever so expensive they are. Speaking about the makeshift jacuzzi, Helen said it was absolutely heaven to me. It was really lovely to relax. We've just been using a shower in the garage, so to have a soak was really nice. So there's an idea for your chaps. You know, go and hire yourself a dumper truck, fill it up with water. Hey presto, your very own bubble bath, all right? LaBelle, drag for me is a way to be extroverted and braver than they are. When a person doesn't want to take off their disguise, it's usually when you can tell that they're most likely are transgender. Okay, thank you, LaBelle. Rachel, Yorkshire Downs, a beautiful country. Oh, God, yeah. You know I've been to there a few times now. I like Whitby where the train is, and A lot of older people walking around. They've all got dogs. You got Whitby. Oh, it's wonderful. What a lovely place. And massive seagulls that landed on my nephew's wife's shoulder when she was eating chips. She went mad. I just wish I had the camera at the time. It would have been so amusing to show you that, but never mind. Peter, your nephew was abused by his missus on YouTube with the hair clippers. I know, I've already seen it, Peter. I've already seen it. Mick's going to go camping at Chapel. They won't let you in, Mick. I'll have a word with Sylvie, who is queen of all caravans. She won't let you in. No. Is there a picture of you? Oh, by the way, is there a picture of you on the Facebook, Mick? I wonder what he looks... Oh, yes, I think there is, actually. Just a minute. Just a minute. Mick Davenport. Oh, there you are there. Right, let's just quickly copy that. Thank you. There we are. That's being printed off now and will be immediately sent by first class letter to Sylvie, who is queen of all caravans. You'll have your poster put on the board there. If you're spotted coming anywhere near it, the police will be called. Thank you very much. Don't want people like you on our caravan site. Thank you, Mick. Mandy, you're welcome anytime. Don't bring your husband. Or I just imagine him. He'd come onto my caravan door and want to have conversations all the time. Go away. Good morning to Heidi joining us today. Morning to you, Heidi. Hello to you, sweetheart. What else have we got here? Nursery teacher. Oh, this is funny. You know, you try and do a good turn sometimes. It doesn't always work out, does it, eh? In the Daily Mirror this morning, Eloise Roberts decided to make a change from filming story time for her nursery pupils on her sofa and instead uses horses, Sarsens and Anakin as the backdrop. So, obviously with the schools closed and, except for key workers, of course, schools closed, some of the teachers are resorting to making little videos for their children. What a wonderful thing to do. What a wonderful, selfless thing to do. We like selfless. We like selfless. A nursery teacher was forced to relocate a story time for her young pupils after being left in stitches by the raunchy behaviour of the horses. With nursery staff and pupils stuck at home during the lockdown, the teacher has been creating videos and projects to keep the little ones busy and entertained. When Eloise prepared to film herself reading another bedtime story, she decided to swap her usual backdrop of the living room and take advantage of living at the horse riding school by her partner Steph Smith. Eloise roped in Steph to act as camera operator for her reading of Pop-Up Peekaboo Unicorn in front of the field where horses, Sarsens and Anakin live to provide a more exciting story time experience. As the teacher began reading about the character Cupcake flying through the forest and fluttering her beautiful wings, Eloise begins to giggle at the horseplay going on behind her. But as Steph cameras pans to the floor, Eloise senses something is wrong and turns around to see Sarsens and Anakin choosing their moment for a bit of intimate time together. Basically, there was one horse trying to climb on top of the other while she was reading her story for the children. Oh, dude, she says, I was trying to make a little video for the kids, something different instead of being sat inside on the sofa. But the horses had other ideas. How funny is that? So you try and do a good turn. But of course, something like that, you can explain that to children and they would understand. They'd just be sitting there laughing. It's not like it's like PORN, is it? You know what I mean? It's just like a natural thing. But I don't like to see it. We have trees outside here, you know, with ivy growing on. And sometimes you see a couple of pigeons doing it. It's not a pleasant thing to watch. Well, I don't watch it. Some people, probably like Mick Davenport, to be honest, would get off on seeing two pigeons doing it. There's some very strange people around, isn't there? There really is. Who was it who was talking about toe sucking the other day? That was Terry Turner, wasn't it? Toe sucking. He's into toe sucking, apparently. Oh, not with my nails, dear. I tell you, you wouldn't want those in your mouth. You'd have a mouth full of viruses. Rachel would love to have a seagull sitting on her shoulders as long as he didn't poop. Or you don't want one of those to poop on your shoulder, Rachel. My God, have you seen the size of them? God, the poops that come out of those. Yep, you can park your car at the seaside and you come back and there's one there on the blooming on the bonnet. Got to get it off very quickly, dear. Does terrible damage to your paintwork, that does. Dan has never been north of Watford. Well, you should treat yourself. Go on, get on the train when this is all over and go one stop up. It's a different world out of Watford, dear. Absolutely different world. I went to a nice Italian restaurant there twice, actually, with a friend of mine. Basically, pizzas and pasta. I can't remember what it was called now. It was on. I think it's on a corner. If you told me the name, I'd remember it. With my friend David Rosen, who I DJ'd with at the Black Cat for a long time. Jason, I've heard there's no power on Chapel Hill's site. Someone's had all the cable away. Chris's caravan is full of it. Cables everywhere in my caravan, dear. And talking of caravans, well done, Jason. You've just linked. It's like a Radio 2 show. This is everything links into everything else. Good morning, Sam Thomas. Hello, young Sam. Oh, look, Mick's got angry again. Your heart, Mick. You must be careful, darling, of your little heart, dear. Be careful. We don't want you to end up in hospital on various machines again, as you know. Mick's had a bit of unluckiness with his health a while back. I hope things are all right with you now, Mick. I say that in some of these things, darling. But I'll be honest with you, we can't afford to lose viewers on this channel. We really can't. We're struggling here, boys and girls, struggling. This links in nicely with the Metro story. When you're stuck in lockdown, it helps to have a nice view. So where better to ride out the crisis than in Lapland? And I read that and I thought, you must be joking. We're just coming into sort of really nice weather here. Well, we're in nice weather here. Why, oh why, would anyone want to go to Lapland in all that snow and coldness? No, thank you. Christ, I mean, if you want that, I wouldn't have to go to Lapland. Just go up into my caravan in the winter. That is cold. You're having a heating. I've just got a bill, actually. My, where is it now? Is it here? It might be downstairs. I've just got a bill from Sylvie, who is queen of all caravans, right? And the bill is beginning of December till beginning of April. So for 2 months there, I won't be there. £120, so it's £60 a month for my heating and all that there. That's not too bad, is it? So that's worked out about, actually probably about £55 for each of those months. And I was never really cold in there. I just turn the heating on if I wanted it on. So that's all right, isn't it? You know, it's a lot cheaper in the summer. It says, we're better to ride out the crisis than in Lapland, where you can see reindeer, gorgeous landscapes and the Northern Lights. The Irwins are a British family travelling across Europe in a motorhome. I like motorhomes. They're good enough. I wouldn't want a caravan. I wouldn't mind a motorhome. They've paused their travels to spend lockdown in Kilpisjärvi, which is a tiny village of 117 people in Lapland in Finland. Despite being a 3.5-hour drive away from hospitals, the family believe they're safer here than they would be in the UK, because of course there's no one around them. So if those 17 people haven't got it, and they haven't got it, no one's going to get it, are they? They're in their sort of late 30s from South Africa, where the Finnish region, with their sons who are sort of 9, 2, and the cats as well. They're with the cats as well. British government offered them flights back to the UK, but they didn't want it. So they decided to stay. They're making the most of their incredible surroundings. The numbers are down, and we're really in a really remote part of Finland. It's probably the safest place to be. We're on the edge of a national park, so we're able to go out and get into the snow and see the wildlife. We've got views of Lapland with reindeer, and we see wolverine tracks, which I think are wolves. I don't know what they are. They left the UK last March to travel across Europe and in their 5-wheel motorhome after they both lost their jobs in events at the same time. We just had an idea. It was an opportunity not to be mixed. They purchased a £52,000 motorhome with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 kitchens and a living room. And this thing is big. Now, there is a picture of this. I thought a motorhome was like a coach, you know? So it's all one. But this is something they're pulling around with a 4x4. That's a caravan, isn't it? Or is that also called a motor? I always thought a motorhome was like one unit, like a converted coach. Like I never say the word Winnebago or Willybago, something like that. But no, this looks like a motorhome, but it's being towed, and albeit by a 4x4, and sort of the front part of the motorhome kind of hangs over the truck, if you see what I mean. But it looks like two separate vehicles to me. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, they started in France. They came to Finland in September to see the Northern Lights, but money issues meant they stayed longer than expected. I mean, I don't know. And there's pictures of them looking blooming cold. So, oh, it's not for me, Lapland. I don't like cold weather, do you? Hate cold weather. 1 second, my darlings. Let's just scroll down and see anyone else. Sam just woke up. Never mind. You can always watch the recording a little bit later on. Mick's heart is still going. We can soon put a stop to that, Mick. Put something in his food, Mandy. Just crush up a few tablets. There's Gary. Good morning, Gary. Gary Butler is in the house. Have you just got up, Gary? It's 10:30. We've been here since 9 this morning. No, that's not the one, Adrian. It's not Latista. That's not that. There's another one there in Watford somewhere. It just does pizzas. Family run. Really, really good quality service. Excellent. Italians, they know what they're doing. You get the manager comes out and meets you and all that, don't they? I like the way the Italians do their restaurants. Literally, the manager will be walking around welcoming everyone. It's the same in Italy. When we went to Italy, me and my mate, we went to Rome. It was just like that there. I mean, the manager, you sit down, manager's out there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our little... and all this business. But talks to the staff like dirt. Absolutely dreadful way to talk to the staff, but customers loves them. Ray Reynolds, have you seen the Very Camp Weatherman? Yes, I've already posted that a few times, Ray. We've mentioned that on the show. We've mentioned it. Ray, I don't think you're paying full attention to the show anymore, are you? You just watch bits and pieces, dear. Very, very disappointing, Ray. I think this is the first time I've found you disappointing, to be honest. What's that there? There's a few people doing this now. We do stories 2 days ago, and then people say, oh, have you heard about that? Because they haven't been paying attention. Very disappointed, Ray. Very, very disappointed. Never mind, dear. Blue Peter, years ago, a Bailey elephant on the show, live with its keeper. I remember that, Peter. I remember that. I don't think that was with John Noakes, wasn't it? You can find that actually on the YouTube there. You will find that on YouTube. You won't bribe Sylvie with cakes. Sylvie is very, very healthy eater. Wonderful. Every week she goes and gets her hair done on a Friday. We love Sylvie. We love Sylvie at the tab. There should be some sort of picture of Sylvie, I think, on that board as you come in, welcoming everyone with a big smile, perhaps a little sparkle in one of her teeth, or something like that. Good. Okay. Right, how are we doing? Raffle ticket time, boys and girls. Who wants a raffle ticket? Speak now. Speak now if you want a raffle ticket. Peter Andre, Emily. Peter Andre's wife, Emily, has told him off. Are you a messy eater, anyone? Apparently he's really messy. The mysterious girl singer in The Sun this morning decided to indulge in a cheeky Caribbean takeaway and basically ate it. It was jerk chicken, all sorts of stuff there. As the family tucked in, Emily started to despair at how messy Peter was at eating. He was eating it off the oven. Literally put it on the oven. So what? Do you know how I eat my dinner? On my lap. On my lap in front of the telly. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all off my lap in front of the telly. I don't sit. I've got a lovely table actually in the kitchen. I'm going to get my sister at some point to recover the chairs because when I've had cats, they've been sitting there a little bit messy, those chairs there. So she's going to do that at some point. Right, let's do the raffle tickets then and see where we go. Oh, Gary Butler, you got the first ticket today. 292 for Gary. There's Gary. Michael Pullman, 293. I'm getting quite hot in here today, I must say. Let's put that on for a little while. Now, why have I done that? No, open the window. Oh, I might get flies in, mightn't I? Michael Pullman, 293. Sprinter Van, 294. Just remember, Mr. Sprinter Van, your thing went off, your fridge magnet went off, but things are taking quite a while to get to places at the moment. Mick Davenport is masked to 11 days, first class, 11 days. So be prepared for a little bit of a wait there. Nothing I can do about that. So, all right, mate. Mandy, 295. Mick, 296. Trevor, 297. Michael Lawrence, 298. David Fryer, 299. Who's going to get number 300 today, I wonder? Scrolling. I'm just going to show you, actually. Yeah, look, I'm going to show you. You know when I say the messages jump down sometimes. I want to show you that happening today. So I'll bring up the screen. This is what I can see in front of me, okay? And you'll notice it'll be delayed from what you can hear my voice because you are looking at what you see. So the voice and the picture are not going to match, but you'll roughly see what's going on now. So David Fryer I've done. Sean Pye gets 300. Thank you, Sean. It's not like there's any sort of email information or anything there for just everyone's messages. So I'll show you what happens now when I say it's going to jump down. Diane Jeb, 301. Diane Jeb, 301. Heidi, 302. Ross, 303. Peter, 304. Claire, 305. Rachel, 306. Right, now we're going to scroll down there. This is what happens. Right, do you see that jump? Do you see that jump? Now, it hasn't actually jumped up too high because there's not too many of you asking this morning. But there you go. Now, that's jumping up on its own now. So that is how I miss things. Sometimes I miss things like that, you see. And that's what happens. All right? So now you know. Now you know. So I have to sort of scroll up and down a little bit like that. And it jumps. So then I have to scroll. Rachel is 306. Colin K, 307. Sam Thomas, 308. Adrian, 309. Mari, 310. Maureen, 311. Jason Hughes, 312. Oops. Shania, 313. Heidi. Have I done Heidi? Done Heidi, have I? Simon Steele, 314. Excellent. Okay, if I've missed anyone out, please speak now. If you've asked by email, I'll sort those out after I've done the show today, my darlings. Meanwhile, let's do today's birth. Oh, is this an email here? Let me just check this email here. Oh, hi, Chris. Sylvie from Chapel Hill here. Thank you very much for your photo of Mick Davenport, which I've now printed up and put on the notice board outside. He will not be allowed into the resort. Thank you very much for informing us of this. Please receive £50 discount from your ground rent for this month. That's very fair, isn't it? Thanks very much, Sylvie. That's very kind of her. Right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 24th of April 2022, Mr. Grant Knowles, who's 47 today. Happy birthday. DJ Grant is in the house. Happy birthday, Grant. Lovan Anthony. Greetings, Lovan. Happy birthday to you. Robert Mitchell. Greetings, Robert. 33 years old today. Hi, Robert. Cristolbal Pelaz. Happy birthday, Cristolbal, to you. Jose Vega is 47 today. Andy Kankitz. Happy birthday, Andy. Tim Hadley. I don't know how you're doing at the moment, Timmy. You had a restaurant Ship in New York. Presumably that's closed at the moment. So I hope you're doing all right there, Tim. Happy birthday to you. Sven Anderson is 62 years old today. Ian James today, 42 years old today. I worked with Ian for a while at the Black Cat, I think somewhere else as well. Happy birthday, Ian. And Emma and Amelia, birthday as well today. Happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Twice, coronavirus. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, boys and girls, whatever you're doing. Alrighty, gang. Thanks very much for joining us on the show on this on this Friday morning. Been a pleasure as always. I've got a little bit of shopping to pick up later on from my mate's house, just a couple of little bits and pieces on my bike, but I've been sitting here. Actually, my foot is playing up a bit today, so I might not go for my walk. I don't know. I think I might do another cycle, not as far as I did yesterday. Oh dear me. I mean, it was nice, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed my bike ride yesterday in the sunshine and what have you. And it wasn't my legs that were aching, it was my bum sitting on that blooming saddle all the time. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. Enjoy the rest of your day, gang, and I'll see you again sometime tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.